Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sportsfellas.
Yes, here we go. It's your Buckeye believing, Houday hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
It's your Sooner Nation ring chasing, tomahawk chopping, boy Driz.
Representing the black hole, Don from the Raider Nation.
This is your Rocky Mountain High Roll Tide, Hook 'em Horns, Mauling Penn State. Last but not least, the true, the authentic, certified copyright. And if you infringe it, that's on you. Tomahawk Chop, Seminole Nation, Florida State fan. This is your host, Carlos in the house. You guys, we're going to talk about the NFC North. Also, we're going to talk about the latest on Chuck's dugout. Is your baseball team in the playoffs? I'll give you a hint. Driston's team is not in the playoffs. So there goes your first clue. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
So, in Chuck's dugout, if the season would end today, in the American, we have number one, the New York Yankees. Second up, we have the Cleveland Guardians. Next up, the Houston Astros. In the wild card, as we speak, if the season would end today, it would be the Baltimore Orioles, the Kansas City Royals, and the Minnesota Twins. Moving on over to the national side, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Milwaukee Brewers. In the wild card, we have the San Diego Padres, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Atlanta Braves. Stay tuned, you guys. We'll stay tuned on the standings as we get closer to October. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
So we have the NFC North, you guys. We are getting close to concluding all 32 teams. Let's kick it off with the Skol. The Minnesota Vikings. They were 7-10. They didn't even make the playoffs last year. They went through injuries and it was just bad for them. Chris, I'm going to kick it off with you. What do you see Minnesota doing this year?
Well, I think their hopes were a little higher when they had J.J. McCarthy healthy. Now they've kind of had to settle down into Sam Darnold. It's curious to see. He's going to wind up getting a good chunk of reps here in training camp. I know he's been working in off-season time with Jordan Palmer, who's kind of been that's Carson Palmer's younger brother, for those that don't know, but he's kind of been a bit of a quarterback guru for the last 5 or 6 years. A lot of guys, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all these guys have gone through his camps and stuff to get themselves better. So maybe that'll have some effect on Darnold. Thrown to a great cast with Jefferson and Hawkinson out there, and Addison. That's gonna help him some. But to me, it's a little wah for the Lions. Like, yeah, maybe they're going to win some, but I don't know. For me, I've got them kind of hanging back at the backside of the NFC North, probably about where they were last year, maybe a little less. I do think O'Connell's a really good coach, so he might get a little bit more out of him.
Yeah, man. All I got to say is I don't see any hope for them. Too many players have been getting hurt. Too many players have been going down. It doesn't look good. They got a decent defense. They got playmakers on offense, but the most important playmaker they don't have. And we saw last year once Cousins was out, they couldn't make nothing happen. I think it's the same situation this year. They're finishing last.
Yeah, I got to agree with Chris and Driz. I just, with the quarterback going down, Sam Darnold, he's going to take him so far because by midseason, he'll start showing his true colors.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much right now, they're just at the bottom of the division for now.
Yeah, I got to agree with everyone else. QB goes down. You've still got good receivers, but without really any QB options other than Sam Darnold, it's not looking too good.
I'm going to focus on the defensive side because you guys pretty much highlighted the offensive side. Defensively, they're going to have their work cut out. We've got emergence of the Chicago Bears, and then you've got Detroit that won the division last year, and also Green Bay. It's going to be real tough for them. I mean, they're going to have a brutal schedule going forward, and I think overall this is just not going to be their year, and it's going to be disappointing because I have a soft spot for the Minnesota Vikings, but the best that they can do is do what they can is just try to capitalize on win, get aggressive. I know I believe former Dolphins coach, didn't he go to the Vikings to help them out?
Spotlight right now.
Yes, of course. But it's not going to do them any good. He's going to have to shake them up. So, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Let's move on over to the Bears. The Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears last year also with the 7-10 record didn't make the playoffs, but there's a lot of buzz with them right now in the Windy City. Driz, I'm going to kick it off with you. So, how do you see the Bears playing this year?
Now, for me, this is the most exciting team to watch this season just because of all the new players they've got. You know, they have a good team, and they look like they're set up for success on paper. And the preseason hasn't been bad for their starters so far, so I have high expectations for them. Despite that, they do have a tough division. So I think they're going to improve. I think they're going to have a better record. May not make even the playoffs this year with just the other two teams that are coming up, but I think they could fight for it. I think they're a dark horse in this division.
Yeah, I'm with you. I actually see them even a little better. I think that I see overall, once you get past Minnesota, the NFC North probably being the strongest division in the NFC. Because starting with the Bears, who I think are on a turnaround with the Williams pickup and I'm not sure how to say his name, Odunze. I'm not Ramon. I can't say Odunze. So I think that kid, he's going to fit in real nice, and he's not under any pressure. You still got more. You still got a lot of offense ahead of him. Bringing over Swift, so they've really loaded up on the offensive side. And we got to remember last year. The last half of last season, they were holding teams to 17 points a game. That's a big nut. I mean, that's a small number, right? So you put up 20 on a regular basis, which is kind of low on an offensive average for a team with this kind of firepower, I think. I don't know that they're going to quite go worst to first like the Texans did, but I could definitely see them squeezing in that final wild card spot. Maybe the NFC North covers a couple of wild cards here. I think that they have the possibility to do that. So I think they'll be fighting for that second and third spot in the division. Definitely an upgrade of 2-3 games over last year.
Yeah, with Chicago right now, with all the weapons that you're bringing a rookie into, he's like one of the first rookies to have, such a great setup, to get started. And they should have a top 10 defense this year because their defense finished strong last year. So I just can't see them putting them ahead of Detroit barely by much because Detroit did give up a lot of numbers late in the season. So it's like if Detroit's defense doesn't get any better, then Chicago could jump up to that second spot. But then again, he is a rookie. So yes, he may be coming in ready to go, NFL ready, but preseason what is different than regular season because when that regular season starts, defenses know how to get after you, then that's where
they start scheming.
Exactly. So that could be the difference with him being a rookie. He might falter slightly because of inexperience.
Sure.
Yeah, that's where I was going. They've got a really good team, and they've got a young team too. So this could be a pretty strong team for like 2, 3, 4 years. But with like rookie Caleb Williams, we saw it the same in with the Panthers last year. They got number 1 rookie pick. They got Bryce Young. And then they just ended up scheming against him. With a new rookie QB who's been looking hot. They can just fall apart some when they hit the NFL or first year, not great.
Everett, you got a great point. And then also we have to look at it like this. Caleb Williams comes in, hot prodigy from USC, to go in, and you've got to your left, I believe, you've got Keenan Allen going in, DJ Moore to the right, also added on Swift. And then also they was able to get also Gerald Everett. And so they're a stacked team going in. So that's just great. And that's going good for them. And then, yes, the last half of the season, Chicago was just literally lighting it up on defense. So this is going to be an interesting year. And yes, I do agree with you. They're going to squeak in. But as what Don mentioned before, he looked really good against people that were coming off the streets and they were substitute teachers having to need a job. You know what I'm saying? So now you've got actual players getting ready to come in to come after you. So that's not going to be the same. But I do believe if they coach it right, they follow the schedule, they keep doing what they're doing, I think this is going to be a dark horse team. Am I going to say they're going to win the division? No. But I'm excited about them, especially what they're going to wear their iced out jerseys. I can't wait to see them in that all polar white. It's going to look pretty neat. Mm-hmm. So we'll stay tuned with them. Let's go on up north to the Green Bay Packers. I still haven't found one. We could call them cheeseheads, sauerkraut. What sounds good? Dairyland players. I mean, what sounds good? We need a punchline for the Packer fans. Help us out, Packer fans. Help us out. All right, they were 9-8. They made the wild card. They defeated Chris's third favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys. But then they fell short in the divisional rounds against the Gold Rush and the San Francisco 49ers. Driz, I'm going to kick it off with you. What do you see Green Bay doing this year?
I see them fighting for second or third in the division, man. Now, Jordan Love really came into his own. He's really shown that he is a good replacement for Rodgers. He came out and he's been a great quarterback, honestly. So with him being as good as he is, I think they're in a really good spot. And also, they have not superstar receivers, but they'll get the job done. They're reliable, and they're not bad by any means. So offensively, they look good. Defensively, they have superstars. This year, their defense really needs to step up their game. And I feel like if they can do that, then they have a good shot this year to make it even further in the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course they picked up Josh Jacobs. That's a huge get for him. I'm kind of with Driz that they're going to be in that second, third. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't know what the schedule is, but just thinking the way NFL does usually, there's a good chance that they're going to be fighting with Chicago for one of those wild card spots. That could be an end of the season really good game right there. I think it's one of the longest rivalries going back in the NFL. A century probably, something like that. But they also picked up probably one of the best coverage safeties, Xavier McKinney. So I think that's going to help lock down their defense a little bit. Overall, I mean, you've got a lot of stability in this whole division with coaches. I think this is the only division, at least in the NFC, that didn't have any head coaching changes. They all have staff changes, but it's got all the same head coaches from last year, which to me is a big deal. I think stability at the head coach position says a lot. And so I think they've got the skills. Obviously, Jordan Love stepped into his own, but he did sign that big contract. So let's see if we got lazy over that summer holding all that money, got tired. Maybe he got too tired holding that money. We'll see.
Well, right now, there's been a lot of hype that Green Bay is going to be one of the top 5 teams in the NFC, if not making it to the NFC Championship game. But I just have to see because, like Chris said, when quarterbacks get that big money, usually a lot of times what happens, there seems to be a fall off year because for some reason, or whether it's injury or just team scheme against them better, sometimes that's how it just for some reason happens. But with the unfortunate pickup of Josh Jacobs and and Romeo Doubs and Reed, a receiver, those going to be the key pieces in that offense that's going to keep it moving. And the defense, I didn't see nothing where they're going to take a step back. So they could be potentially winning the division this year and maybe making another deep run in the playoffs. So only time will tell after that first month of the season, see what happens.
As Chris mentioned before, and you, Don, as well, I mean, I still don't understand how the New York Giants let go of Xavier. Xavier is a great corner. And now that Green Bay's locked him up now, we're going to see St. Brown is going to lock up against McKinney. We know with Minnesota, probably he's going to cover Jay Jettas. And then moving on over to the Chicago Bears, I could see him covering up maybe DJ Moore. That's a possibility because I feel DJ Moore gets more of the reps. But now with Keenan Allen coming in,
he's going to be a little slower this year.
Right.
Yeah. So he's a vet. He's been around. I mean, he's good, but he's a vet.
I will tell you this. Green Bay, don't sleep on them. They are a great team to follow. How do you think they're going to do, Everett?
I think that this is one of the mediocre teams this year. They've got they're well balanced. They've got good, but they don't have super they don't have all superstars. They got they've got like a superstar per offense and defense, which is like it's expected for like middle of the road team, McKinney and Josh Jacobs, and then they've got pretty good QB Love, and then receivers that they're good enough. I mean, better than the Chiefs receivers last year, but
Well, Everett, let's don't forget the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Let's don't forget, and don't also forget this is the team that beat the Dallas Cowboys. And also,
Hey,
let's
that's
do
not
not
hard
forget.
to do, honestly, in the playoffs.
Let's also do not forget as well that
They took the
they took a
Niners
team to the
wire.
division, and then they almost beat the 49ers. But it's okay, Everett. It's just growing pains. It's all right. Let's go ahead and move on to RoboCop's hometown, Detroit Lions. All right. Well, the Detroit Lions last year, they won with a 12-5 record, won the division, the NFC North. Also, they defeated the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card. Also defeating in a close game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the divisional round, but had a sensational first half in the NFC Championship. I was thinking it was going to be the Chiefs and the Lions. Nope. The script said it's going to be the 49ers and the Chiefs, and they just fell short in the second half. Drews, I'm going to kick it off with you first. How do you see Detroit doing this year?
They're in the same boat, man. They got a very young team, and there's a lot of superstars, obviously, offensively and defensively. So I think they're well-rounded, and they're in the same boat this year. I see them doing the same, if not better this year, sticking at the top of the NFC and really giving San Francisco a run for their money, man. They should have won that game. Very upset at how it turned out, but listen, it's a new year, and I feel like they're going to dominate this division.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think also, it takes experience to get good at winning and to be able to handle that pressure when you're up on a team in the playoffs and be able to, because the other team starts getting momentum and it's hard to stop it sometimes. So I think they grew a lot probably from that. I'm sure that the head coach, Dan Campbell, definitely took it to heart and is going to be more prepared next year. Of course, they didn't make all those big they re-signed all their guys that did great. Big extensions for Goff and Sewell and St. Brown. They also put some money in on their defense too. They got DJ Reader, who was a free agent, great guy. Wish he would have stayed in Cincinnati. Like if I was a fan of Detroit, I would be ecstatic about the way the offseason went after obviously last year was great for Detroit. They don't have a whole lot of winning in their history, so that was big just to make it to the playoffs and get a win in. But I think that now with that young talent that's there, they're going to be kind of expecting it from here. So I really like what they've done. They've invested on both sides. Got a couple guys I think are early in the draft defensively on their secondary side. And then, of course, DJ Reader. And they've already got a lot of strength on their offensive side. Kept Ben Johnson. I think that was a big keep. Their offensive coordinator, who was a finalist for Washington's head coach job. So I think that was his decision. I think he's pulled himself out of Washington and said, no, I'm gonna stay here in Detroit and give it one more run. So I think that builds confidence for the team. Definitely builds confidence for the fan side. So I see them as the top of the division for sure.
yeah, they're probably going to be top of the division. I think they're going to be toward the top of like NFC, like second or third in NFC for the playoffs. The big problem that they could run into is last year they were kind of a surprise because they haven't been good in they haven't been good since I've been alive, but they have now.
I don't think they've been good since I've been alive, son.
Now they're coming back and now they've shown that they're a good team now, and now people are going to start looking at them and scheming more against Dan Campbell. But younger team, I think they've got a good shot this year.
Yeah, right now I see them contending for the winning division with Green Bay, but offensively, they got the same weapons. With the running back committee between Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, they're going to be able to run the ball. And as long as Gibbs and stays healthy, and Sam Laporta, as long as they stay healthy, I just don't see how they can't move the ball easily against most teams, depending on the defense. Now, defensively, they gave up a lot in the air, so that's what kind of hurt them in the long run toward the end of the playoffs. But if they can get lock that down and keep doing what they're doing offensively, I can't see why they shouldn't make it back to the NFC Championship game again, and possibly the Super Bowl.
This is the thing that what Detroit excelled efficiently well was offense. Jared Goff, if you've seen the projections here, Jared Goff, when he played indoors in the dome, phenomenal. When he was at home, phenomenal. It's just that once he goes outside, the elements change a little bit. But also, too, they were just getting torched in the air. They were giving up quite a bit. And so, especially now that they've added a couple pieces, I mean, also you have Aiden Hutchinson, go on the attack. Who's that guy that looks like Thor? Oh, what's his name? The guy with the long blonde hair. I mean, he looks like he auditioned for He-Man. Like he's just just going out there. But Detroit this year, they've got a lot of good things going on. Especially, we're going to get to see. I know on the commercial side, we're about to see them in their new alternative jerseys. In their new helmets. That's going to be kind of neat to see. Also, as well, it's just the atmosphere. Oh, yes. Thank you, Don. Alex Anzelin?
I think that's how you say it.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry, man. If you want to come talk to me, just hit us up on the show. The way I feel they're going to do is they haven't skipped the beat. They're going to win the division again. It's not going to be pretty. I could see them going back to the. What do you think, Driz? I could see them going back to the NFC Championship.
Oh yeah, I can. I see him competing with every team in the NFL, besides the Chiefs, of course.
No, we're not going that far. We're not going that far. We will talk about the Chiefs on the next show, so you guys hang tight on that. But yeah, so I say before we wrap this one up, Everett, who are you choosing to win the division this year?
Division, probably Niners.
Okay, NFC North.
Oh, North.
Division,
sorry, then
not
Lions.
The Lions.
Oh yeah, Lions.
I got Lions.
I'm going to take the Lions as well. So. Sweet. All right. We'll go ahead and let's take a quick pause and take our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
All right, stay tuned, you guys, for the next episode. We will do the AFC West, also the NFC East. We're going to break down the last divisions before we tune into our Week 1 show. In the game of the week, we're going to give it out there. I decided, I by committee, I feel the game of the week is going to be Detroit against Los Angeles Rams. What do you think, Driz?
Oh, I think it would be the Chiefs and the Ravens, but that's not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
Yeah, I was torn with one because you got the Monday night game, Sunday night game, and then the Thursday game. I'm going to have to go with the Eagles and the Packers on the Friday night. Brazil, right?
Ooh, Brazil. Oh, snaps. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon with Don. I want the Brazil game.
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon with Driz and go with Chiefs Ravens.
All right. Well, you guys, any shout-outs before we leave?
Shout out to the fellas here. It was a long day, but it's nice to come in and talk football with the fellas.
Shout out to Chiefs Kingdom. It's going to be a three-peat this year. Can't wait to see how everything goes down.
Big shout out to all our friends and family out there listening. Thanks.
Shout out to you guys for coming in to talk football.
I want to give a quick shout out. Let's start off with everyone going back to school, to all the teachers, cafeteria aides, custodial workers, officers. Thank you guys for doing what you guys do. You guys do go appreciated here, and know that here at Sportsfellas, we just want to say thank you on that. Also, I want to give a shout out to the friends and family as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. And also, we had a comment on our last episode where we did something, we said something wrong. Hey, at least we don't work for ESPN, so we're good on that. But hey, thank you for tuning in. It goes to show that we're reaching out, and it's just going to get bigger. So thank you guys as always, and we'll see each other in the next show. We're out.